Okay, so my name is Kelechi Annabelle Nwankwo, and I am very honored to speak with you all today. I'd like to introduce Parslet, but first I'd like to tell you a story, very short story, considering the time I have. I interned with the Parsl project as an outreachy intern, and during my internship, I was very focused on things like accessibility. First, I worked on the documentation. I made a few contributions, but I was very obsessed with the idea of bringing Parsl, like it's the mental model of Parsl to smaller devices, to devices that are very common in the region I live in the region I stay in. And you might ask why I would want to do that. Well, half the time where I stay, connectivity is an issue. You make calls, you don't hear anyone, you turn on your internet and nothing happens. You try to download something and it just doesn't load. So that's a big problem. Battery life is also very precious because electricity is not stable. It's here today, gone tomorrow, and you can't even predict when it's going to come. So it's just up in the air, and your devices need to be powered. You need to charge your device, and when you have power, you still need internet. So this means that some solutions and some software are not very accessible for anyone in my situation. And I wanted to do something to help that in whatever little way I could. And Parslet was my big idea. At first, when I wanted to really work with Parsl, I had to go through Jupyter Notebooks, which is awesome. But at the same time, Jupyter Notebooks still, I still had issues using it. There were times when I couldn't access because obviously I couldn't use my laptop all the time. I had to use my Android tablet. And if you know anything about Android storage, you know that it's a disaster when you try to access Android storage from things like Google Colab, things like Jupyter Notebook. It just gives you issues. It doesn't work sometimes. So I wanted something that was Android native, something built with Android in mind, something that still had all the principles of Parsl, well, as much of the principles of Parsl as it was possible to bring from high-end devices to low-end devices. And I came up with Parslet. So let's just talk about Parslet a little bit. I hope I can pass my message across accurately. So it is a minimal workflow engine. It is basically take Parsl and pretend like he had a child who is not as super powered as it is, but who has the same skeletal system and who functions in the same direction essentially, but for lower end devices. So it's the same DAGs, but it's optimized for constrained environments. It's optimized for things like offline use, is optimized to take your battery into consideration, is optimized to work on devices where RAM might be a problem, where your CPU might be an issue. So that's it in a nutshell. Okay, next slide. Okay, so why Parslet? I already tried to explain this when I started. It was born of accessibility. It was born of the location. It's basically first for myself, then hopefully it will help any other person who finds themselves in the same situation I keep finding myself in. So while I can't do anything to fix issues like electricity, at least I feel like I can touch things like software to help those issues in whatever little way I can. So basically, it's offline first. It runs your workflows without you needing internet connectivity, which in the area I live in is golden. Is battery aware, which means if your battery is low, it's going to try to adapt. It's not going to go all full scale. It's not going to go full compute. It's going to look at what your battery percentage is, and it's going to manage that and give you what it can with your battery. Then it's Termux ready. Termux is my favorite terminal, I think, in the whole world. And everything I do, I think I do on Termux. I basically run everything on my Android device. I rarely use my laptop. Sometimes I forget I own a laptop, but I do. So it was designed on Termux. Everything about Parslet was done on Termux. It's is I want to say it's Termux native, but I don't think that's the right term. But it's very comfortable on Termux. It's also plug-in friendly because I wanted a situation where even though it was something that was built with low-end devices in mind, you could still upgrade. You could still, okay, maybe by some miracle you get access to a supercomputer, or you get access to great electricity, or you find yourself having better devices. Great. So it's extensible. You can add in other stuff to improve or to give you more power as you need. What's the next one? Okay, so it's just the flow is basic because it's in its baby stages. So basically, you have your user-defined tasks, and it goes to Parslet DAG to the runner, then the resource-aware executor. That's just the basic. Your tasks are decorated with Parslet tasks, which it functions sort of like Parsl's Python apps. Yeah, it's very similar to that because this all of this was essentially built off of the back of Parsl. This will not have been in any way possible without Parsl. So, and there is caching, like, because I wanted also not just caching, it also remembers, there's checkpointing. It remembers where you stopped. If you're doing something, because I wanted a situation, what if your battery just runs out in the middle of the day? If you're doing something, your battery runs out, maybe you can't finish up for some reason, there is no problem. It remembers where you stopped, it continues from there, you have no issues, you have no worries, and that's fine. Okay. What next? Okay, so these are the core features. You have exportable DAGs. And this is literally what you need to type to get it. You have CLI live monitors. You can monitor your progress in real time if you're all about that. If you're someone who likes to sit and watch, you can do that. So then, yeah, that's the checkpointing thing I talked about. Then there's the security. I think this is a really fun bit because I named it after DEF CON because I keep watching a lot of American movies and everybody says DEF CON, DEF CON. So I just wanted to put it in there. So DEF CON, what is that? Since this is something that runs on Android devices and I don't know what people are going to want to use it for, I try to anticipate different use cases, but I am limited by my own imagination. I know that people tend to store things on their devices that they might not really want other people to have access to. They might not want malware and things like that. So I try to put in some security so that there's some safety while you use Parslet for whatever it is you want to use it for. Next, okay. So there's sample use cases. In the code base, I tried to come up with what I felt could be realistic use cases, which could showcase Parslet in a good light. And there were like a few I picked for this presentation, like four. I felt like this, I felt like these were the most impressive. So there's RAD, that's for it's medical, and it actually involves AI, where you have AI processing images and they need to agree. If they agree on a diagnostic, then it passes. If they don't agree, then it flags it and it's like, okay, a human needs to check this. Then there's the battery aware data pipeline. I think that's one of the selling points of Parslet. The battery aware thing is something I'm really proud of and something that I feel is very helpful to me in particular. So that is what decides whether your workflow is going to run in lightweight or full compute mode. Then there's others too.
Kelechi,
Yeah,
just a quick Just a quick time check. We're at about time. So do you want to just wrap up in a
Oh,
minute?
okay, thank you. So yeah, then there's just these. These are other sample cases, and for the important issue I'd like to bring up, I'm still working on interoperability between Parslet and Parsl, and right now, it functions to some extent. It gives some bugs to some extent. So I'd like to ask for help, if there is any way to accurately map these things, if there's any way to make it so that I don't have these errors, so that the conversion is smooth and it goes well both ways. And I want it to be intuitive at the same time, so that if you put in a parcel workflow, anything that's to do with parcel, Parslet recognizes it and it gives you a conversion, and it can go the other way. Okay, so thank you. I don't want to take too much time, but please, I'd invite you to explore this. I'd invite you to bring whatever ideas, whatever contributions you have. Everything is welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.